Hello, shiny friends. Welcome to spring. I wanted to share with you my process of updating my front door wreaths, transitioning out of the Christmas holidays and Valentine's, and now working into spring. I'm so excited that spring is here. I love whenever all the green starts taking place. You start seeing flowers bloom and all. So I'm removing some ribbon that I put around these wreaths. You'll see me kind of working the way out. This is just one afternoon that I worked on this project before school pickup. I wanted to let you in on my process because if there's one thing that you learn about me, it is I love to work with what I already have. Instead of going out and buying completely new items, I love to use what I've had long term and make something new out of them. The next day, I went and picked up ribbon at the local Hobby Lobby. I found this ribbon on sale, and I'm going to work with it here in a second after I clear off a few things on my counter. And through this process, I'm going to be just kind of measuring and gauging of what I think would be a good size for on the wreaths whenever I start working on them, which I will take you outside with me in a little while to work on that, and you'll be able to see a little bit more in detail how I actually make the ribbons. So right now I'm just kind of tinkering with the ribbon. But I'm glad that you're here today, and I would love to know what you work with to make something new out of old things that you may have, just to bring new life to it whenever it is springtime and everything is blooming. It's just such a fun and exciting time of year. So please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear. Going to take the wreaths down. These are actually the ones that I removed the striped ribbon from earlier in this video. I did that actually the day before, and now I'm taking these down, and I'm going to take this other piece of red off. So I have slipped up there where I just kind of gauged out that ribbon so I can kind of see what I have to work with here. And so what I'm going to have to do in the end result of this process is to be able to have a bow tied on there. But I'm also going to have something that's long enough for it, the wreath to actually hang down. Can you see kind of in the background the red ribbon that's holding that wreath, that longness, the length of my doors, and the way I have to do, like I have to put a door hanger up there and then hook a piece of ribbon that will actually hang from the door hanger, and then I have to tie that piece of ribbon to the actual wreath itself in order for the wreath to be able to land and be in the area that I want it on our front doors. Watch now as I am starting to make this bow. I have taken a small piece and I have folded it over. Now I'm trying to make sure that the polka dots stay on the outside. And I'm measuring how wide I want the ribbon, the bow. So now I'm just going to keep wrapping the rest of the ribbon that's left around the original time that I folded it in half. And I'm doing this because in the end we're going to tie a small piece of twine in the middle, and it will hold our ribbon in place to make it like a multiple layer ribbon. So just see, I'm still just wrapping that ribbon all the way around with the polka dots on the outside. You can really use any type of ribbon for this. This can seem like it's so difficult, but it's really not. Some of this video I have slowed down just so you can be able to see more what's going on. But really and truly, right here, if you see, I've let go of that middle. So basically, it looks like I've just wrapped that ribbon just in a big circle where it stays together. And I'm just trying to really make sure it's going to stay together. And I've got that extra piece that's dangling, and I'm trying to find a home for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it right there on the back. Just going to wrap it around like I had the others. And then that's where we're going to tie. Use twine. You can really use any type of string or yarn or anything. Twine is just always my go-to. And if you notice, I wrapped it around a couple of times in the middle. And then I'm going to get to a point where I tie it. And if you have to, you know, lay it down so you can do this. You don't necessarily have to, but once you get that, you just pull tight. Once you have it tightened, we are going to start separating the pieces of the ribbon, and this is where your bow is actually going to make. You'll be kind of quite surprised if you've never made one of these before, how simple this just really is. So I've got it, and I'm going to, you know, fluff it up a little bit more and separate those pieces, and it looks like it's a multi-layer bow. And I'm going to attach it because I have some of that twine that I wrapped around in the middle. I have enough of it that I'm going to secure it right there at the top. You know, there's no special way to go about this. You just find what works for you. And if you notice on this ribbon, it doesn't really have like hangy downs like on some ribbons. That's because whenever I do the actual ribbon from the door hanger that I told you about, that's where I'm going to get my long hanging down pieces of ribbon. I'm still trying to make sure that this thing is tied on here good enough and it's going to stay secure. But I'm curious if you hear all these noises that are in the background. That is actually my neighbor across the street. They're having a new roof put on their house. So, you know, I was a little concerned about when I came out here to video that the noise was going to bother everybody. But I said, you know what? I'm not letting that stop me. So, I'm just kind of holding it up there to see how it's going to look. And so that's the long pieces that I'm going to use to secure. This is total short people problems. I do not know why I didn't get that step stool over there, but I'm trying to hang it on that door hanger. And I'm sorry that the camera is not positioned where you can see that hanger. But evidently I'm having trouble. I got my scissors to help get it over the hoop, I believe. So anyway, the hang down there, that's what I'm going to wrap, and it's going to hang down the sides of the actual wreath itself. So in the end of all this video and stuff, you will see a full image where you can see exactly what I'm talking about up there. So right now I'm just trying to test to see where I like, you know, what length I want everything. And so now I'm going to start tying it up. I'm just going to slip it through there, and I'm just gauging how long I want the ribbon and basically the positioning on the door of the wreath. Boy, did I get bright and get the step ladder. Oh, man. So I got up there long enough just to be able to see exactly where I wanted to put the wreath. It was kind of hard testing it standing on the ground. So anyway, I'm working on it. I got it tied up there, and so those are my pieces that are hanging down. and you'll watch me kind of work with each side, and I'm going to step back a few times to see how I'm liking things. And that's one thing about whenever you just start working, you've got to work everything to see how you like it. And I tuck it behind the M this time and just kind of let it hang down at that. And I'm going to step back and take a look at it, see if I like it. That's really not too bad looking. You know, if you wanted, you could go with it looking like that, but in the end, I end up changing my mind. See, I showed a little bit. But I take them back out and I decide to see what it would look like without any ribbon. Look back at that. Look one more good time. And I decided I wanted to keep the hang downs, but that's one thing about this. You can really go any way with it. You could leave just the ribbon at the top. You could, you know, stick it back behind and let it hang down long ways, or you could kind of just work it around the sides just like I'm doing. And I did the best that I could with those end pieces, taking them around back and tucking them in. So I walked to the other side and tucked it in. And so now we're going to go for the second one, the second wreath. I'm going to get the string off of here. And once I get it off, I'm going to fold it completely in half and cut it in half. You see the wind's kind of blowing and I'm about to lose it all. Anyway, so I'm going to, you know, match the ends up and make sure it's completely folded in half. And then I'm going to cut the middle. Well, if I could ever get it tied up. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. You're going to be able to watch this cutting process here in just a second. That was a little piece of tape that was holding it on that piece of cardboard spool. Alright, here we go. It's completely folded in half. So I'm going to cut all the way through the middle. That way now we have two pieces of string. I'm going to use one as the part that is the door hanger that hangs up, you know, across the door hanger, and then the one that's going to make the ribbon. So that's what I'm working on right now, is making the ribbon. You see me holding it up there against the other one, and I'm doing this so I can kind of measure and gauge how wide it is. That way, whenever they're hung up, they look like they go together, that they match. So this time I did a little bit better folding it up and everything, I guess because I had already done the first one and got going real well with it. So that is looking good. So we're going to get ready to tie it up. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the other one. Use the twine. I'm still kind of gauging and making sure that I've got it about the same size. I wanted to share something with you very personal and sweet to our family. Our family dog in October of 2017. You can see my daughter showing her there through the window at me now. Anyway, in October 2017, she passed away. She was our family dog of 17 years, lacking 2 months to 18, so you might as well say for 18 years. She was our family pet. She had just reached her maximum lifetime. It was very, very hard to let go of her. It was probably one of the hardest days of my life. But I just wanted to be very vulnerable with you and share that piece of truth for our family, and it kind of testifies for the fact why I haven't posted videos in a while. I kind of walked through that and had to, get used to her not being around, because she was part of my everyday routine. And so in videos to come, ones that I post, you may still see her in there, but I just want you to know that she has gone on to be in heaven and everything, and we greatly miss her, but we know that she lived a good full life. And you can see me tapping here. Even the doorbell don't work. She had lost her hearing. She didn't see real well, but she was my best friend, and she was my joy. She was my little sidekick and my co-worker. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing the Wreaths, and I hope that you take the time to rework something that you already have on hand to make something new out of it. You'll get a glimpse here in a second. She's going to get up when I open the door. Watch this. Look at that sweet baby.
What you doing, pretty girl?